So what is going on, guys? NandoPrince93 here with another video. And as most of you guys that watch my channel know, we do, constant iPadOS updates and kind of reviewing what those updates entail. And the most common thing that's kind of been updated and fixed through these software updates has been the Apple Mail client. There's been countless issues with it just basically freezing up, not working, not syncing correctly, loading up images when they shouldn't be loaded up. It's a lot of things that you don't expect from a native Apple app. And why does this happen? I don't know, because pretty much through the entirety of my iPhone or iPad career, I guess you would say, I've used the Apple Mail client. And this is the first year where I had to kind of expand or kind of look into other solutions as to what mail client would be best for my iPad, right? And the one that I stumbled upon is this app called Spark. Right? Spark is an amazing email client, and I've been using it for both of my personal email accounts. For my real personal one, which does all my bills, all my business inquiries, things like that, and then my other personal one, which is for this channel, which I use to get notifications on whenever people comment on a video or like a video or have something, or when milestones are reached. Right? So those are the two personal emails that I use, and I use it with Gmail, and then I also use Outlook for work. And that's like the one negative, so I'll start there. The one negative with Spark is that for some reason Outlook, from a business server perspective, has not played well with Spark. I've seen it work for personal Office, right? If somebody just goes in and creates an Office account to get the Office suite, it does work, but for some reason it hasn't played well with my Office or my Outlook for the Spark app. But for what I need it for, I have my dedicated Outlook app for work, and then I have Spark for everything else. And again, Spark is an amazing email client for the iPad because of how it kind of throws things at you, right? So you guys know that with the native mail client for Apple, you have this ability to kind of merge a bunch of different inboxes, but then it just looks kind of cluttered, it looks messy, you're kind of just going through, you don't know which email you're answering from, things like that. When you go to the Spark app, you have to turn on this thing called Smart Inbox, right? And Smart Inbox not only brings in both of those inboxes together into one panel, one view, but it also breaks everything up from basically what you need to reply to, so like real emails that you're getting from people you want to hear from. Then it gives you notification emails. So I usually in that little box I get, hey, your Amazon order has been shipped out, or hey, don't forget to renew your subscription to this. So it's emails that you constantly get that you want to be reminded of and manually get rid of them. And then and basically it's broken up into the rest of the emails. So you have your regular emails, your notification emails, and then they categorize it as newsletter emails. So emails that don't require your attention, essentially, right? And the beauty of it is that you can organize, so like you can look through your normal emails, look through your notification emails, and then just kind of delete the rest of them, right? Because that's essentially what we do on a day-to-day basis anyway. We look at the emails that we know we're about to receive or that we need to get to. Then we look at the other emails which still pertain to you to an extent, right? But maybe you don't want to deal with them, or you don't need to do anything with them right now, but you're glad that you saw them. Or the other 95% of your emails, which is advertisements, spam, Nigerian princes trying to ask for donations, things like that, right? So it kind of filters that, and on top of that, you have your spam folder, which gets rid of even the most annoying types of emails, so you don't see them in your inbox. So that's what Smart Inbox is. So that's definitely the number one reason why I went with the Spark app. It's because of that Smart Inbox, development or technology, however you want to call it. I just love how easy it is to kind of look at a glance at what you need to look at and then go from there. Right? Another big reason is the customization, right? The customization is crazy intense. You can make it as simple as possible or as complicated as possible as you want, right? Like for instance, let's say you want to delete an email, right? If you want to delete an email with the regular mail client, you swipe in one direction, it gets archived, right? With the Spark app, you have 4 different options for a swipe. You can swipe it all the way through to archive, you can swipe it halfway through to fully delete the email, swipe it from the other direction to pin it, or swipe it from the other direction fully to mark it as read, right? And the thing is, you can customize each one of these instances. So if you wanted to move it to your spam folder instead of archiving, you customize it, you make it so when you go through the full swipe, you create it to move to your spam folder as opposed to archiving, and things like that. So that's the beauty of it, and obviously you can tag things directly from there. And then another thing that's kind of missing from it that I do think Mail has the upper hand on, just because of iPadOS 13, is when you want to select a bunch of different emails at the same time. So usually when I go to the newsletter section, ideally I just want to delete those emails, right? And what I have to do is I do have to go into like the select mode and click each one individually to then delete them. I do wish that they adopted what Apple just did, where you can kind of just like drag your finger along the side and select them as your finger goes through. That would be the final update that I would want to see from Spark to really maximize this potential. But other than that, it's based around what you need, right? So it's a great interface. They added dark mode, so the UI looks incredible. The smart inbox is a great feature that I do think Apple Mail should adopt, and I'm sure they will because that's what they do. They learn from these third-party developers that put stuff in their app store, they become good at it, they either acquire that company or do it internally, and then they add it into their native Apple ecosystem, which is what's happened to a lot of these companies that started off in the App Store 10 years ago. Right, like you no longer need Genius Scan to scan PDF, but that's what Apple does. They start cannibalizing their own market to create it themselves and gather that revenue by themselves, which is an incredibly smart move, as annoying as that is. So again, just to reiterate, Smart Inbox is amazing. The way it breaks down everything into categories that it knows, that it learns through, its AI features and machine learning, all that intelligence jargon that people throw around when it comes to technology. And overall, it's a great client, guys. I do highly recommend you give it a shot. It's free. You don't have to pay for anything. A lot of these third-party mail ones that are supposed to be really good, it'll cost you $4.99, $9.99, and it's totally free. And I use it for my iPhone, for my iPad, and you can also access it through the web, and there is a Mac OS client as well, and you can merge them all together. So obviously it syncs across all of your devices just like the Mail app would. And again, it's integrated with the calendar app. It does smart reading. So let's say somebody says, hey, let's meet for lunch at noon, right? You can automatically just click it just like you would on the Apple app, and it'll populate your calendar, and it syncs across your other calendars, like your Google Calendar, your Apple Calendar, your Outlook Calendar, which is a beautiful thing as well. So highly recommend using the Spark app, guys. Give it a shot. I'll link it below if you guys want to. They're not affiliated with me whatsoever. I'm not affiliated with them. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a good iPadOS solution or a good mail client solution for iPad Pro and iPadOS. And again, it works with any iPad, any iOS device. And that's pretty much it, guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It was a little bit more of an informative video. Just wanted to share it with you. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, because it really helps kind of boost that content up a little bit. And until next time, peace, guys.